Out yonder in the wilds, a posse of city slickers sought refuge in the forsaken nooks of the land. Their mutual love for abandoned places brought them together, united by a common goal to unearth lost histories and revive forsaken remnants. This here venture was just like any other. As the sun began to set and the shadows grew longer, the posse rode deeper into the untamed wilderness, eager for their next escapade. They'd been hearing whispers, rumors carried by the wind, of an abandoned orphanage hidden deep in these here secluded parts. The orphanage's legends were cloaked in secrecy, whispered only in low murmurs by the townsfolk. At the mere whisper of it, their spines shivered with fear. Its presence did loom like a specter, an enigma waiting to be unraveled. Enchanted by the mystique of undisclosed mysteries, the posse aimed their gaze on this forsaken artifact. Their trail took them down twisting paths, winding through thick woods, till they reached the edge of a forsaken town. The stillness was overpowering, interrupted only by the sporadic whisper of foliage and the far-off hollers of a lone critter. The feeling of being alone was thick in the air, like time had stopped in these god-forsaken parts. Yonder it stood, snug in the midst of the encroaching wilderness, the forsaken orphanage, a ghostly reminder of bygone lives left in the dust. Its rugged front wore the marks of age, with shattered panes akin to eyes that had lost their glimmer ages ago. The ivy snaked its way up the weathered walls, as if Mother Nature aimed to take back what was rightfully hers. The explorers shared a look, fear and anticipation flickering in their gazes. This here abandoned shack held secrets untold, and they were fixing to be the ones to dig 'em up. As they rode up to the orphanage's gate, the groaning of the weathered timber door reverberated through the silence, as if daring them to enter and discover the mysteries concealed within its dilapidated facade. Them folks had no idea that venturing into that deserted orphanage would lead 'em down a path of darkness, putting their grit and knowing of the world to the test. The scene was set for an adventure that would alter their fate forever, a trek into the depths of a forsaken calamity where the whispers of yesteryear awaited their unearthing. As the city slickers rode up to the deserted orphanage, a feeling of excitement mixed with an undeniable sense of dread. The outside of the edifice, once a haven for many young'uns, now stood as a somber proof of disregard and dilapidation. The wild terrain was closing in on the orphanage, taking back what was rightfully its own. The weathered walls were clung to by thick vines, intertwining like skeletal fingers in a desperate grip. There were weeds and wildflowers sprouting through them, cracks in the concrete, adding a touch of haunting beauty to the desolation. The adventurers neared the entrance of the orphanage, their boots silenced by the thick layer of fallen leaves and debris. The front yard, once a place of joy and merriment, now lay silent and deserted. The rusty swings creaked and groaned with every gust of wind, swaying eerily in the breeze. The stillness was thick, interrupted only by the sporadic call of a night bird, as if the air itself was holding its breath, anticipating their coming. The explorers gazed upon the broken windows like the vacant eyes of a deserted town. They peered inside, catching a glimpse of the forsaken interior. The ground was scattered with glass shards, glinting in the setting sun and casting broken reflections. They bent the light, warping the pictures and adding to the spooky feel, suggesting secrets hidden away. The explorers paused, their eyes fixated on the dilapidated frontage. The orphanage's worn-out coat of paint murmured stories of a bygone era, flaking and splitting with every changing season. The edifice appeared to be hankering to spill its tales, its mysteries carved into the very walls that had seen both merriment and misery. A cold breeze murmured amidst the woods, making their bones tremble. They locked eyes, understanding the gravity of the task at hand without uttering a single word. With wary strides, they entered the saloon, the weathered plank door creaking in objection as it gave way, as though hesitant to expose the mysteries concealed within its withering clasp. The explorers found themselves surrounded by darkness, with only the faint glimmers of light shining through the shattered panes. The flickering shadows danced along the walls as if they held secrets of their own. The air was heavy with dust and the scent of forgotten memories, igniting a bittersweet nostalgia that clung to their senses. As they stood before the dilapidated orphanage, a solemn feeling washed over them. They was trespassers in a land stuck in time, hemmed in by whispers of a bygone age. Taking a long draw of air, they stepped forward, prepared to delve into the eerie legends that lay ahead in the deserted halls of the orphanage. Crossing the threshold, them explorers found themselves swallowed by darkness, their eyes gradually getting used to the faintly lit insides. The air was thick with the smell of moisture and rot, and a deep sadness seemed to seep into every inch of the walls they touched. The inside of the orphanage looked just as run down as the outside. The walls were crumbling, revealing layers of peel and paint, exposing the raw essence of a forgotten time. The air was thick with the scent of age as they tiptoed across the groaning planks. The eyes of the explorers were fixated on the remains of shattered furniture, strewn recklessly throughout the chambers. Them chairs were splintered and them tables were overturned, telling the tale of time and the ruckus that done happened in these here abandoned walls. Each of them, their pieces held a silent tale, their purpose long gone, their memories trapped in the dust that coated their surfaces. As they delved further into the orphanage's winding halls, their peepers caught a glimpse of forsaken relics of yesteryear. Them old-timey pictures, all yellowed and frayed, spoke of lost innocence and bygone days. They saw a line of solemn faces, haunted eyes that stared back at them, bearing witness to a childhood filled with longing and despair. Them diaries and journals, with their pages all yellowed and brittle, were discovered tucked away in forgotten corners. The scribbled words told tales of lonesomeness, dread, and heartbreak. They revealed the echoes of lost souls, the lively aspirations of young uns, hushed by a world that didn't shield them. As them explorers dug deeper into the orphanage's past, they come across some mighty dark reckonings. Amidst the dusty records, they stumbled upon proof of heinous atrocities committed against the defenseless folks. Tales of beatings and heartache inflicted by the staff or caretakers have surfaced from the depths of yesteryear, leaving a path of misery and pain in their wake. Whispers of neglect and abandonment echoed through the passages, painting a chilling portrait of lives scarred by indifference partner. The hands of the explorers trembled as they uncovered mentions of cruel punishments, sleepless nights filled with terror, and whispers of whispered experiments that veered into the realm of the macabre partner. Them revelations hit 'em hard, like a bullet to the gut. They realized that the deserted orphanage wasn't just fallen apart, but was tainted by a darkness that had seeped into its soul. The terror wrought upon them young'uns, kept secret for so darned long, now called for reckoning. With grit in their teeth, them explorers pressed on, their hearts burdened by the ghosts of yesteryear. They done swore to bring to light them forgotten tales, to give a holler to them who was hushed, and to face them demons still haunting them run-down halls of that deserted orphanage. You all are welcome to continue this here exploration of the orphanage's dark past and the toll it takes on our hearts. As them explorers ventured further into the forsaken orphanage, the atmosphere became thick with an undeniable sense of unease. 'Twas not a spell afore the tortured spirits ensnared within its walls made their presence felt, manifesting themselves through a string of eerie happenings. The murmurs of young uns, gentle yet eerie, reverberated through the empty corridors. The sound of faint giggles and muffled sobs echoed through the air, like the memories of their joy and pain were branded into the very walls of the orphanage. The explorers squinted, trying to catch the words, their hearts burdened by the weight of the young uns' hidden whereabouts. The doors slammed shut with a suddenness that defied all reason. The echoes bounced off the walls, sending shivers down my spine. It was a stark reminder of the trouble brewing in the orphanage. The hearts of them explorers were racing with every sudden bang, the echoes making it clear that they weren't the only ones in this godforsaken land. Inanimate objects sprang to life, defying the laws of nature. Books were flying off shelves, chairs were tumbling over, and toys were tumbling over, and toys were rolling across the floor with hands that couldn't be seen guiding them. The explorers gazed in wonder and fear as these eerie scenes played out before them, each one chipping away at the delicate barrier between the world of the living and the realm of the tortured spirits. In them, brief moments, them explorers caught sight of spectral figures out of the corners of their peepers. Ghostly figures flitted through the shadows, vanishing before they could be rightly seen. The explorers gazed upon a sea of faces, some pure as the driven snow and others twisted with pain, the images seared into their minds, never to be forgotten. A shadowy figure loomed over them, sending a cold breeze down their backs. The explorers sensed a mysterious presence, as if an invisible force was peering into their very souls, a gaze that seemed to reach into the depths of their being. The burden of the young un's agony weighed heavy on him, a ghostly reminder that them tortured spirits were seeking vengeance for the wrongs done to them. As the explorers ventured forth, the otherworldly happenings grew stronger, leaving them on edge and their nerves frayed by the unyielding barrage of supernatural events. The lines betwixt the living and the dead done got all mixed up, their grasp on what's real forever changed by the ghostly spirit that done surrounded them. Still, notwithstanding the terror that seized their souls, a flicker of compassion and comprehension started to surface. Them explorers come to the realization that them tormented souls weren't no evil spirits, but rather poor souls, looking for peace and fairness. Their quest shifted from simple wanderlust to one of redemption, as they vowed to unearth the veracity, give a voice to the voiceless, and bring serenity to the restless spirits that haunted the deserted orphanage. As them eerie happenings kept on happening, one of them explorers, a fella by the name of Alex, felt a powerful urge to dig deeper into the history of that orphanage and the legends that swirled around it. Even though he was the most doubtful of the bunch, the inexplicable happenings left no space for uncertainty. With his trusty laptop and a steely resolve, Alex set out on a quest to uncover the hidden truths of the forsaken orphanage. Long past sundown, Alex sat hunched over in a dimly lit saloon, poring over yellowed parchments and forgotten tomes, searching for scraps of history. Slowly but surely, a tale of woe surfaced from the annals of time. A blaze had ravaged the orphanage long ago, snuffing out the lives of countless young uns. Tales of the raging inferno depicted a scene of terror and hopelessness. The flames had spread like a wild stallion, fed by disregard and imprisoned spirits aching for freedom. The orphanage, once a haven of protection and nurturing, turned into a grave for the blameless. The mournful echoes of their wails still echoed through the dilapidated walls. But as Alex dug deeper into the research, they stumbled upon a darker truth, a curse that had been laid upon the orphanage. The winds carried tales of a wrathful ghost, a being that aimed to right the wrongs done in them abandoned walls. The curse done bound the tormented souls of them young'uns to this here land, forever tethering them to the place of their anguish till justice be served. 'Twas clear as day that them strange happenings weren't just some hocus-pocus, but a cry for help from them restless souls. The troubled spirits yearned for closure, aching for the veracity to be revealed and the injustices of yesteryear to be rectified. The eerie apparitions they conjured up served as a ghostly warning that their words wouldn't be hushed until righteousness triumphed. With this here newfangled knowledge in hand, Alex done gone and shared their findings with the rest of the posse. Them skeptics couldn't deny the heaping pile of evidence no more. It was high time to face that curse head on. They made a solemn oath to pursue justice, not just for the young ones who had met their end in the devastating blaze, but also for the spirits held captive in the forsaken orphanage. Their journey turned into a hunt for salvation, a mission to uncover the facts, bring the wrongdoers to justice, and shatter the spell that kept the tortured spirits in bondage. With every stride they took, the adventurers ventured forth into the blackness, armed with grit to confront the ghastly history that lay ahead. Them folks had no idea that their journey would take them to face not only the terrors of the orphanage's past, but also reckon with their own inner demons. The curse had a hold on them, pushing their limits and making them face their inner demons as they battled to bring justice and serenity to the troubled spirits of the forsaken orphanage. "All are welcome to join us on this here journey," said the lead explorer, tipping his hat. "We aim to unravel the curse that's been plaguing these parts for far too long." The group of adventurers mounted their horses and set off into the rugged terrain, their eyes scanning the horizon for any signs of danger. As they rode deeper into the wilderness, they faced challenges that tested their mettle and forced them to confront their deepest fears. But with each obstacle they overcame, the explorers grew stronger and more determined to see their mission through to the end. They battled fierce beasts, navigated treacherous terrain, and faced down their own doubts and insecurities. Through it all, they never lost sight of their goal: to break the curse and bring peace to the land. And in the end, their bravery and perseverance paid off as they emerged victorious and triumphant, ready to face whatever challenges. As them explorers ventured forth on their quest to bring justice and peace to the tormented souls of the forsaken orphanage, they realized they must face the wrathful spirits that haunted its halls. The spectral figures of them young'uns, once pure souls, now haunted with a blend of purity and fury, aching for their tales to be told and their agony to be recognized. On their journey, them explorers stumbled upon a precarious tango with them ghostly spirits that haunted the orphanage. At times, them spirits showed themselves as quick glimpses of young'uns they used to be, shimmers of purity and forgotten aspirations that pulled at the adventurers' hearts. At times, them same ghostly figures turned into wrathful spirits, their eyes blazing with anger and agony, seeking revenge for the atrocities they suffered. Fueled by their compassion and a growing bond with the spirits, them adventurers set out on a grueling quest to patch together the shattered tales of them young'uns. They combed through the dusty diaries, letters, and records they found afore, searching for the truth hidden within the worn-out ink. After many a moon spent delving into the depths of the unknown, them explorers finally uncovered the tangled mess of misery and wrongdoing that had befallen that forsaken orphanage. They done found a pattern of abuse, neglect, and even sinister experiments inflicted upon them young'uns by them folks who were supposed to be taking care of them. Each tale unraveled like a bone-chilling chapter in a grim saga, revealing the depths of man's wickedness and the sorrowful aftermath it wrought. On their journey for justice, them explorers faced their own fears and prejudices, making themselves confront the harsh reality that them young'uns had been ignored and abandoned, left to suffer in silence. 'Twas a journey of self-discovery and maturation, as they wrestled with their own guilt in ignoring the agony that had transpired within the orphanage's confines. Riding with a newfound grit, the adventurers aimed to uncover the hidden truths that had haunted the forsaken orphanage. They tirelessly fought for the underdogs, using their discoveries to reveal the truth to the masses. Their endeavors caught the eye of newshounds, crusaders, and lawmen who rallied to their side, guaranteeing that justice would not be forsaken. Together, they formed a posse, working tirelessly to bring them varmints to justice, holding them accountable for their dastardly deeds. They wrangled with the legal systems, battled against apathy, and rallied for the rights of the forsaken souls who had suffered in the orphanage. Finally, after much grit and determination, them explorers' hard work done paid off. Their unwavering quest for justice brought forth the truth, leading to lawful retribution and the revelation of the orphanage's sinister truths. Them varmints faced the reckoning of their deeds, their misdeeds no longer hiding in the dark. With justice finally done, a deep sense of calm settled in the orphanage. Them tortured souls, once caught in a never-ending cycle of agony, found comfort in the reckoning of their suffering and the restoration of their honor. The vengeful spirits were finally at peace, their anger replaced by a calm departure as they found the closure they had been seeking. The adventurers stood tall in the newly refurbished orphanage, once a den of terror, now a symbol of grit and salvation. They did their duty, bringing justice to them forgotten souls and restoring a mite of peace to them haunted halls. Their journey left a mark on their souls that'll never fade. The explorers pledged to keep fighting for the voiceless and standing up against the wrongs that plagued society. They'd seen the might of truth and empathy, and their vow to seek justice had been etched in stone for all time. With justice done and the truth laid bare, them explorers weren't satisfied with just bringing to light the shadowy secrets of that abandoned orphanage. They felt a deep sense of duty to face the varmints who caused such heinous harm to them young'uns, reckoning that true redemption could only come from making 'em answer for their misdeeds. With grit in their teeth and fire in their hearts, them explorers set out on a treacherous quest to track down them varmints who had a hand in them heinous deeds at the orphanage. They dug deeper, following a trail of clues and witness accounts that led them to the shadowy underbelly of yesteryear. Their journey led them to the darkest corners, where the wicked hid from the retribution of their actions. With each stride, them explorers faced their own fears and doubts, staring down the barrel of a mighty challenge to stand up against them who held sway and dominion over the defenseless young'uns. In a showdown of epic proportions, them explorers came upon the wicked entity that had been plaguing the orphanage. The varmint, sprung from the misery and woe of them poor souls, materialized as a wicked power, set on holding onto the orphanage and keeping its secrets buried deep down for all eternity. Unfazed by the shadowy veil that lay ahead, the adventurers battled bravely against the wicked force. They harnessed their newfound fortitude, spurred on by the grit they had seen in the young'uns' tales and the steadfast backing of their posse. Amidst the fierce skirmish, one of them explorers, fueled by an overpowering sense of mercy and atonement, performed a noble deed or an act of selflessness. This deed, whether it be confronting their darkest demons or becoming a conduit for the spirits to rest, lifted the curse that had ensnared the young one's spirits. As the curse broke, a deep hush fell over the orphanage. The wicked spirit vanished, releasing its grip on the deserted corridors at last. The souls of them poor, tormented young'uns were finally released from their suffering and took hold of the light, ascending to a place of never-ending tranquility. The explorers stood in the midst of the eerie silence that now surrounded the once spooky orphanage. Their heart was overcome with a wave of emotions, a blend of relief, sorrow, and a profound sense of satisfaction. They had not only unearthed the truth and sought justice, but had also discovered redemption within their souls. With the curse lifted and the spirits of the young'uns finally at rest, them adventurers reckoned their task was done. They rode out of the orphanage, changed forever by their perilous journey and the unbreakable ties formed in the midst of the shadows. Their hearts were heavy with the burden of the past, yet they held onto the flicker of hope and the determination to make sure that such atrocities would never be forgotten nor repeated. After the dust had settled, them explorers made it their mission to fight for the underdogs, stand up for the little ones, and make sure that the grim past of that abandoned orphanage was never forgotten. They knew that showing kindness, fairness, and always seeking the truth was the only way to make a difference. And thus, the legend of the Forsaken Orphanage turned into a tale of salvation, a proof of the everlasting might of mankind's ability to rectify misdeeds, gather courage in togetherness, and cure even the most profound of injuries.